Okay, the question is, how can I use AI tools to help me write SOPs? This comes up all the time. This is almost every workshop that we do. Someone will ask about SOPs. So this is good. This is very common. I will use ChatGPT for this. Know that you don't have to use ChatGPT. This isn't specific to ChatGPT. It's just the tool that I have open right now. You can use Gemini, you could use Claude, you could use Perplexity, you could use Copilot, you could use... There's 50 other tools you could use. So just know that you don't have to use ChatGPT. It's just what I'm using for this example. I'm going to go back and forth between ChatGPT and a whiteboard just to make things easier. To start, like I said, SOP is standard operating procedure. If you don't know, that could be, I don't know, you might call that a workflow. You might call that a play from a playbook. Oops, wrong way. You might call it a play. You might call it a deconstruction. You might call it, I don't know, a recipe. You might call it a WBS. That's work breakdown structure. It's more project management-y and a little different, but whatever you call it, they're all kind of the same thing. It is a step way to do something. Like, this is the key. Like, whatever you call it, it's a step-by-step way to do something. And something is intentionally broad. It could be almost anything, any kind of procedure. So this is what we're talking about. How can we use AI tools to create SOPs? Just know that SOP could be any of those things depending on what you do, your work environment, the words you use. It's literally if you just need a step-by-step way to do something. So again, this has come up a lot, so I've thought about this a lot. So let's move that over. Okay, so because this has come up a lot, I've come up with a pretty, I think, simple, like high-level workflow for SOPs. It's very meta. 3 steps. You need a general format for your SOPs. You need to capture the steps for the specific SOP that you want to create, and then you just map the specific steps to the general format. I know it sounds really easy when you say it that way, but it's just, that's really all you have to do. Now, each of those steps have sub-steps, so we'll talk about those, and then we'll look at ChatGPT, and then we're done. Where are we? So we go here, right? So we start with the general format piece. And again, these are separate steps. And I don't know why those don't copy over, but they don't. So let's put some numbers in there. Okay, so these aren't actually sequential. Whatever, I'll leave it like that. These are ors, basically. So you do that one or that one. Come here. You are not working with me today. Or that one. All right, so for step 1 here, create a general format. If you already have a general format, so a general format would be some kind of template. If you are, let's say, working on a project and you have a template for how you do SOPs, you can take that template, if you already have it created, and go into ChatGPT or whatever tool you're using and click on the plus here and you can add it. So if you have a template, you can click it here, add it, and then just say reference the attached whatever template, whatever you call it. That's one option. If you don't have one that's already created, you can prompt ChatGPT to create one. And then once it has one, you can save that, and then you can attach it and do it the same way and use it for future SOPs. Third option is you can just let ChatGPT make it up each time. So you can go in and just prompt it and say, I would like to make an SOP for whatever you're doing. I don't already have one. Can you make one up for me and then use it? I don't recommend number 3. You can do it, and lots of people do it. It is the fastest, and I think that's why a lot of people choose it, because it's way faster to just have it do it for you each time. It won't be consistent, because just the way the tools work is that they will give you a different setup almost every time. So if you are doing it for a project or for something where you need consistency, or consistency would be helpful, having it make it up each time will just make things confusing for the next group that looks at it, for future you when you look at it. So I would strongly recommend 1 or 2, and choose your path though. So that's the general format piece. And here, let's move you. Come on. Move you here. Okay. So once you have your general format, then you're gonna come back here, and okay. Again, these are ORs. So I'm not gonna type OR for each one, but know that it's just like the other one. This isn't do all of these. This is do one of these. Why do I keep doing that? Okay, so you can. Wow. Nope. Let's. So again, we're at step 2 up here. Capture the steps for the specific SOP you want to create. You already have your general format. You have your template in place. Now you're going to capture the steps for whatever you're doing now. 5 ways that you could do that. Probably 6 actually. Step 1, you could just type them in. So you just come into your prompt and you just type in whatever you want right here. So it's like you could have step 1 is something, and then step 2 is something else, and step 3. You get the idea. So once you have your template, attach it here, and then you type out the steps. Second option is to use dictation. So if it's a longer SOP, if you have 10 steps, 15 steps, you don't want to type all of them, you can click on the little microphone here. You can use dictation, and you can, just like I'm doing now, you can just talk into a microphone and say, just go through the steps. So the same thing that I would have typed in there, like step 1 is something, step 2 is something else. I would just say that. I would click on the microphone and then say, hey, step 1, whatever it is. Step 2, whatever it is. Step 3, whatever it is. It would still have my template in here. And then again, the next step in this will kind of wrap that, like bring it all together, but you can type it in, you can dictate it. You can go into, get it here, voice mode. So this is where you actually talk to ChatGPT in this case, and then it talks back to you. You can go full voice mode. That's usually not as useful if you know the steps. That's usually more if you don't have all the steps clearly identified yet and you want some back and forth so that the tool can help you figure out what the steps are. But it is an option. You can just go through full-on voice mode. Fourth option, you can create a video of you doing whatever the process is and talking it through. So a lot of times what happens is you want to create an SOP because you don't actually know the steps and you don't have the time or the patience to sit there and write out the steps. So you don't have to. Just do the thing and create a video. Either create a video of yourself, have someone else create a video of you doing the thing. And while you're doing it, slow down slightly and talk through what you're doing. So if I'm on here, I'm like, okay, I'm clicking the tab for ChatGPT. I'm clicking the plus sign, I am highlighting add photos and files. I'm clicking on add photos and files. I'm clicking back in the prompting area. I'm clicking on the dictation microphone, etc. Like whatever it is, just take the thing that you're doing and do it and just verbalize your thoughts. So as you go through it, just say, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And then you'll have that video, and then you can, just like you attach the template, you can attach the video, and you attach template plus the video, and now you have your general format and you have your specific case. 4.5, it's not actually on here. You could do the same idea, and it doesn't have to be a video. It could just be audio. So maybe you have your phone and you just very similarly go through the things, and it's like, I'm clicking on ChatGPT, I'm clicking on plus, I'm clicking here. It doesn't have to be a video. Audio would be fine too. So that's kind of 4.5. Let's just, there we go. Video or audio. And then 5, maybe you don't want to do any of those. You can have ChatGPT or whatever tool ask you questions to extract the process. So maybe you just really can't even think about how you do it. You can just prompt ChatGPT and say something along the lines of, I would like to create a standard operating procedure for whatever thing you're doing. I'm not clear on the steps. Can you ask me questions one at a time and use my answers as context for putting together the SOP? And then it will ask you whatever things. What's the thing? And what do you do next? And what do you do next? And it'll actually talk you through whatever the thing is so that it can extract all the information that it needs. That one's really useful if you don't actually do these a lot. So, I mean, that's the meat of it. But then what's left? Come here and maybe paste the last section here. And give me 1 second while I kind of line all this up. Not that word. You're just. All right, I'll just leave it there. Then you're just going to map 1 to 2. And we'll put some numbers in here. Let's go here. And let's go here. And let's go here. Okay, and again, these are ORs. This doesn't do all of these. This is do 1 or 2 or 3. So once you have your general format, and then you have your specific steps for whatever you're doing this time, and you're just going to map 1 to 2. You're just going to take your specific case and you're going to map it to that general format. And you can have ChatGPT or whatever tool do that mapping and output a file. So if you want a PDF, if you want a docx, that's for Microsoft Word. If you want, whatever kind of format you want, maybe you want an infographic, whatever it is, have it output some kind of file that you're going to then take and do something with. Or you could have it do it in Canvas. So you could go in and you don't actually have to select Canvas. You can, or you could just say output to Canvas. Either way, but you somehow identify Canvas and then put the stuff in there. And the benefit of Canvas is if it doesn't come out the way you want it, you can edit it within Canvas, and you can prompt ChatGPT to edit it within Canvas. So you can kind of work with the tool to edit it if it doesn't come out the way you want it. And then third option would be to get the steps from ChatGPT and then enter it manually. So maybe you're going to do it in Microsoft Word. You get the steps from ChatGPT, and then you go and you type all those into Microsoft Word, and then you have the option to take that document afterwards and come back into ChatGPT and attach it, and then just have a ChatGPT check for consistency. So it's just like, hey, you gave me these steps. I made this document afterwards. Can you look it over and make sure that things align? That's it. I mean, that's kind of a lot, but it's not really. It sounded like a lot because there were just a lot of choices. But going back to one, and let's go through this quickly. If you want to write SOPs, or use an AI tool to help you write SOPs, which again, SOPs are standard operating procedures. Again, you might call them workflows, you might call them plays, you might call them something else, but it's basically a step-by-step way to do something. And high-level way you want to do that, you want to create a general format. You want to identify the steps for your specific use case, and then you just map the specific steps to the general format. There are multiple options. Again, to create the general format, if you have one already, just put it in there. You can use the AI tool to create a format and then just use that forever until it's obsolete, or you can just let the tool make it up each time. And then there are multiple ways to capture the steps. Type them in, talk them in through a different mode, create a video, create audio, or have the tool ask you questions. And then there's multiple ways you can map it. Have it output a file, have it output it to Canvas. You can edit it, or just get the steps and then do it yourself. One thing I'll note, and again, this isn't unique to ChatGPT. I think projects are a really good way to, store and create SOPs. You can come into a project, let's say this was just the SOP project, and then you can upload the file. So whatever your general format is, your template, or maybe multiple templates, this is a project or whatever, you can put the files in here, and then you can have whatever instructions, like always make sure that template is referenced, or template 5 is referenced for project 5, whatever it is. But you can put your files in here, and then you'll have the old chat as reference or context, and then you can just put in whatever your specific case is. And a lot of times, if it's a project, like if you're working on a project, your previous SOPs will kind of overlap with your current SOPs. So projects are actually really good for SOPs. And again, if this was Gemini, it would be gems. If this was, Perplexity, it's what spaces. I think Claude is also projects. Like the major tools all have some kind of just basically folder where you can put in extra files, and you can use old chats as context for new chats. But yeah, that's really it. I mean, that SOPs, they come up all the time, so it's wouldn't be surprising if you have a need to capture a step-by-step procedure for something. It's probably a lot of information, but again, it's really not that bad. Like everything under like this high-level section, these are all or, so you only have to pick one of these, and one of these. Try it out. Ask questions if you have them. Hope that helps. See you next time.